All right. First things first, can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that scares me. I can see you too. The fact we didn't have to go through the ritual means that 9 minutes into this, I'm sure it'll drop out.
Probably.
Yeah, it's always something. All right. This is a simulcast. We have Denver Broncos Mile High View, and we have Commanders GM Centric. As far as I'm concerned, Broncos Commanders, two feathers of the same bird. Is it shaping out? The reason we're simulcasting that is we're going to discuss the state of the NFL. We're going to discuss Bronco related stuff, Commander related stuff, how the two intertwine, really. So let's start off by going with the state of the NFL as it's currently constructed. We've been what we've been seeing, especially this season, was a lot of online comments on YouTube. Demographic is usually male. That's why I say YouTube. I don't know what's going on with Instagram or the rest of it, TikTok. But a lot of the comments was talking about people walking away from the NFL in general. And we had made a lot of videos about the state of the NFL and how the product is diminished. And we'll get into that. And how this relates to Commanders, how it relates to Broncos, really how it relates across the NFL spectrum. To believe it or not. So we got a little riled up, I guess you could say, when Denver Bronco content creators and radio and media were coming out crying a river that fans are walking away from the Denver Broncos. I got a news flash for them, and I was told you this a long time ago. Excuse me. That I knew of this ever going all the way back to the Case Keenum time. People had fallen out because the guy that's handing out Super Bowl trophies to the Kansas City Chiefs, John Elway, had basically started to ruin the team by getting rid of the dogs. So I have to listen to somebody like Mark Schlereth get on radio and talk about how hard of a worker he is. So were you working all that hard? And you rightfully should be called out, and we should be kept calling out on this. Did you work hard at BSing the fan base of Denver that Aaron Rodgers was signing on the dotted line? Your source, who you can't give up, we know, is John Elway in Dove Valley, also gave the same nonsense to Adam Schefter at ESPN. All this bullshit, because we know how desperate John Elway is. Just like Magic Johnson, they're, again, two separate feathers on the same bird. Two guys with an ego. Two guys that want a medal. You might as well have, in my opinion, you might as well have Snyder. Same type of results. But you can't, the content creators in Denver are so out of touch with the fans that when John Elway goes and starts handing Super Bowl trophies to a rival, in the aftermath of really fucking this organization up, yes, John Elway giveth, and I guess John Elway taketh away. But to go there and hand out, if San Francisco would have won that, if they would have kicked the extra point, and we'll get into Mahomes and this ridiculous worshiping, Kansas City worshiping, and Elway, if San Francisco had not won that, or had won that Super Bowl, it would have been Joe Montana handing the trophy rightly to whoever, probably Brock Purdy, because no matter which team was going to win this, the NFL's hell-bent on worshiping the quarterback. We can get into how we felt Chris Jones got robbed in the Super Bowl. And like I said to you, I said, if you're going to hand Mahomes a MVP for simply managing a game, you should have then done that for Peyton Manning during Super Bowl 50. because he managed the game too. I just think that this product is so degraded from so many levels, and we're going to talk about that and talk about moves the Broncos and moves the Commanders are making, and our idiotic reason. I guess we're going to have to also explain why we thought, we have a track record of like it's impeccable. I'd say over 95% accuracy, but we sure did get it wrong, thinking that somehow the NFL would not be itself and actually get it right with when Adam Peters, who we put a lot of faith in. We thought, oh, this is going to be different. Let's see. Boy, we did see, didn't we? And, some people can't understand why, it didn't take us long to get turned off on that. But I've talked enough. I talked for 6 minutes now. Please interject.
Everything you said was right on the money. Everything you said was, good. I want to talk about this Mark Schlereth thing, if you don't mind, because when I listened to it myself and then when you told me about it, it really pissed me off. And the part that really pissed me off is, oh, you work hard. Because you have a guy in Coach Buckman like myself that actually provides the film breakdowns, that actually coaches the game of football, so on and so forth, that scouts these players. When all of your supposed claims that you work hard are never true whatsoever. I mean, I could go back to when we drafted Patrick Surtain, and you said, leading up to the draft, with your boy Elway and your boy Adam Schefter, that it was a shoo-in that Aaron Rodgers was coming to get to Denver. Who was the one person out there, the one person that was talking about the Denver Broncos at the time, that was saying that was complete and utter bullshit?
You.
So, Mark Schlereth, you have the balls again. I mean, I still think your balls are in your wife's purse because you were the one criticizing Elway, and then you got, your nuts cut off, per fucking usual, because you can't tell the fucking truth. You're a liar.
None of them can tell the truth.
Well,
they are so out of touch.
I'm specifically talking about Mark Schlereth, but yes, the whole I DNVR, Locked On Broncos, Mile High Huddle, they all fucking lied. Their track record is dog shit. Like you said, our track record is impeccable. Okay.
Well, until we screwed up and thought Adam Peters was going to change the Commanders' way.
Correct. But. You're mad at the fans for walking away. Mark Schlereth, you guys created these fans, first and foremost. So you're getting mad at the fans for walking away from.
Well, how did they create them? They filled their heads with empty promises, overhyped. Players have no business. They should have been cut. And on. Scouts that are scouting crap players. A product that isn't what they claim it is.
Yeah. I mean, we have fans that say, oh, well, you guys have all the answers. Yeah, because it's not hard to figure out what's going on with this team. It's common sense. I think it's a lack of common sense from the people that are talking about this team, the content creators, the people that are in that organization, and some of the fans lack that common sense. They do. And at the end of the day, did we see this happening? Yes, we did. You specifically, because you were ahead of the game on this. So, Mark Schlereth, you could be pissed off and mad at the fans, but you should be looking at yourself in the mirror, and you should be looking at that organization and taking a step back and realizing that okay, let's just be honest. This is not the Denver Broncos. They're not the Denver Broncos. It's an empty suit. It's an empty mirage, what we're seeing right now. They just bought the team because of the logo and because of the colors. It's not the Denver Broncos.
Well, that's what they own. They own the logos and the colors.
Yeah.
And they wrap themselves around in it. That is not. They are no longer the Denver Broncos. They're a team formerly known as the Denver Broncos.
They're the
just like they. Well, they're the Walmart Generals.
And Nick Burrito, you have the fucking gumption to come out here and talk about fans when you haven't done fucking shit. Who drafted Nick Burrito?
Well, there was a guy sitting in the draft room.
Okay, let's expand on that. Who drafted Nick Burrito? The people that have been in that front office since 2017 that Elway put in place. So, Nick Burrito, you have the fucking balls. And I believe that was a shot at us and a lot of other fans, but specifically a shot at us. So I want to come back to Nick Burrito here. Nick Burrito, what the fuck have you done, buddy?
Well, when he's not being blocked.
Oh, yeah, when you're not being blocked, just like any other edge rusher, you get a sack, right? But when you're blocked and you're facing better tackles in the league, you're nowhere to be seen. You're nowhere to be heard of, okay?
Yeah, explain what Nick Burrito actually is from a player profile perspective.
From a player profile perspective, Nick Burrito is a rotational pass rusher. He's
undersized. Use the word undersized.
He's undersized, and he's a 4'3" end. He's not a fucking 3'4" outside linebacker. And that's the problem with the team formerly known as the Denver Broncos, this current iteration of the Denver Broncos. They hype up these shitty-ass players, and it's a league-wide problem, but specifically talking about the Denver Broncos here, or the team formerly known as the Denver Broncos, they hype up these shitty fucking players like they're the next Steve Atwater with Justin Simmons, like they're the next Von Miller with Nick Burrito, like they're the next, he's the next Ed McCaffrey with a Jerry Jeudy who hasn't done jack fucking shit for 4 years. It is nauseating. And this is why I'm done covering the NFL. Unless I absolutely have to watch a film breakdown, I am not this year moving forward. I'm going to make it a fucking mission. I am not going to watch this dog shit product. I am not going to fucking waste my time watching a fucking NFL product in general that is neutered, that is crap. I'm not going to waste my time, energy, and effort covering a product that only cares about princess quarterbacks, that only cares about fucking hype, pro football focus, so on and so forth. Okay, I'm going to go watch college football and high school football. That's where my bread is buttered, not this NFL bullshit.
Yeah, and talk about NFL bullshit. We're going to get into that, but I want to talk about really quick why we were pretty much walked away from the Denver Broncos, and I'll speak for myself. The fact that we gave this new ownership a chance. We gave them a chance.
I didn't.
And they refused. Hold on a second. We'll get to you. Just give me a chance here. Give me a chance. Yeah, you said I don't trust them. Just to be fair, I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a chance. Show me that he's wrong. Show me he's wrong. Ownership. You didn't do what the only difference between the Commanders and the Walmart Generals here is they cleared everybody out with a caveat, with an asterisk. This ownership is so clueless. First of all, you got an owner who is nowhere to be found and decides that, well, this is just another asset for me. I'm going to have my my son-in-law run this thing. And the son-in-law is kind of like, he's a GM now. He's, doesn't know squat, but runs out and gets Sean Payton, who players run to the likes of Sandy Clough, who's an apologist for these players, A, an apologist for John Elway, B, and cries a river that, oh, Sean Payton so horribly, huh? He's a tyrant. And, we saw this with Vic Fangio. We saw him crying, but this ownership doesn't clean all the riffraff out. We saw Justin Simmons, who's a spokesperson. Let's just face it. He's a game show host playing safety. Okay. He's a game show host playing safety. You see him yelling at Vic Fangio. And then the next year we hear about, these poor downtrodden players. They got to coach their own self. So they get Nathaniel Hackett, who was supposed to bring in Aaron Rodgers. And of course, That that was a big foolish mistake by Elway. The players are going to coach themselves, and the ownership has no interest in changing this culture, none whatsoever. So we said enough is enough. They're not going to do. So you were proven right. You knew all along. You can say you knew all along, because he did. He knew all along not to trust them. And everybody's sick of getting lied to. It's not us. Everybody's sick of being lied to. All these content creators. We just saw one just recently. Oh, you just the same thing we've over and over and over again. You wouldn't believe the Denver Broncos' elite defense. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's the Ravens 2.0. Not. So we're at the wit's end. We may have a commentary or two, but we are not going to break down. We've already done it with the Broncos. So what we do, we hear Adam Peters is going to go to the Commanders. Well, where we made our mistake is we thought, well, Peters will never, ever, ever get himself in a Denver Broncos situation, especially after getting shown the door by John Elway. He wouldn't walk into a John Elway situation. No way. Couldn't. And man, did we get it wrong. So what we did, just like the Broncos, the Broncos is not a fan channel. We explicitly say on the Commanders, this is not a fan channel. Okay. And we go to do an assessment. We go to do journalism. Basically, we are there to evaluate, not to fan, no fandom. Tell it like it is, right, wrong, or indifferent. And just to kick ourselves in the ass, to get a punch in the gut. It's basically it's the same ownership that tried to buy the Broncos. We got John Elway. Magic Johnson doing his best John Elway imitation, and then some. I think it's even worse, to be honest with you. And you might as well just lump Snyder in there too. Meddlers. And we can get into the latest. It's just wash, rinse, repeat. We see mishmashing and how it doesn't work, and these teams can't help themselves. So we went to the Commanders to do an investigation, to do a critique, to go and look and to say to the Bronco organization, see, these guys get it. But no, they just want to copy your failed organization. Go ahead, tell everybody how right you were.
Well, my track record speaks for itself when it came to that situation. I don't need to come on here and say, oh, I was right. I'm not. Again, I let my work speak for itself. I don't need to come on here and be like, oh, see, I told you. Here's the reality of the situation with myself and my co-host here. When it comes to specifically, I want to continue the trend with the Broncos here. We've seen this rodeo year after year after year, and we're both fucking sick of it. I am so done with this. Today, DNVR, will the Broncos make a massive trade for Drake fucking May?
What did we say?
Fuck? I've heard that for 9 fucking years. I want to get a good offensive line. I want to get a good defensive line. I want to get good middle linebacking. I want to get good safety play. I want to get good receiver play. I want to get good tight end play. I'm tired of this fucking overhyping a quarterback. Just like with the Commanders, it's the same thing with the Broncos. Hey. Time out, you got to speak. I just want to say this. I'm sick of this fucking bullshit.
Yeah, so it's not just overhyping the quarterback. What they do is you get them overhyping bad players. Like we just saw that video. Oh, do you realize this is an elite defense?
Shut the fuck up. It's not a good defense. Shut the fuck up. It's not the Ravens defense. It's not the fucking Chiefs young up-and-coming defense. It's none of those. Shut the fuck up. All you did was show highlight reels and you cherry-pick plays. Shut the fuck up.
Well,
Justin Simmons is no fucking Steve Atwater. Bear Browning should be a middle linebackers, but he's outside playing He's playing outside linebacker. Drew Sanders should be an off-ball linebacker, but who the fuck said they were going to move to the edge permanently? That's something that's just came out, that he's going to be an edge.
It wasn't just cherry picking. They cherry picked the worst team they played all season. The Chargers. The worst team they played all season. And trying to build a case that
This is why I am done, because it gets my blood boiling. I'm sick of this shit.
What I'm trying to say is this is why so many people are walking away. You think that everybody out here is so stupid that they don't realize the game you're playing. And I said, if you want to be successful, well, here's the thing. Let's get into the NFL now. I was watching the series. It's a Netflix series, and it's about the Rugby Europe. The shout out to Scotland Rugby. The Five Nations Full Contact. And I've been sending you some clips. And those players there, they want to be pushed. They push each other. They're all about getting pushed and push harder. And, I show you where there's a jumbotron on the practice field, and they're breaking down film on the practice field with their players. And then I watched back in 2017, I watched and this goes across the board. This is just not Dallas. It was a Hard Knocks type of a show on Showtime with Dallas. And they had one of their marquee receivers, and the coaches are all walking on eggshells. Could you watch some film of the Denver Broncos? And this is 2017, and the receiver's like, I'm not watching no film. And I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Of course, after that year, they got rid of him. But we see too much of that. We see Travis Kelce pushing his coach around. Back in the 50s and 60s, it was, Coach, you ain't paying me enough to do that. Now, I'm making more than you. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell on the pro level. You can't. Well, we're not going to be pushed. We're not going to push. And now there is exceptions in the NFL. I understand. But by and large, the culture now is we know better. We make more than the coach. Don't push us. And I've even heard pro players like just these players think they're pushing themselves. That comes from them, the older former players. Go ahead.
Let me ask you, okay, this correlates into what I do as a coach. I make it a fucking, I demand it for my players to watch film. I demand it. I push my players' asses. Yeah, at the start, they complain, bitch, and moan. But I always say, you stick to this, you can be better than you were even fucking last year or the beginning of the year. You can get better as the season goes on.
And as the season...
Okay, yes, exactly.
And as the season ended...
I have two young linebackers that aren't even seniors yet that are getting fucking D1 offers. Because you want to know why? Because I push them hard, I fucking break down technique, and I break down the film. And they watch
wait. Do they embrace it? Do they embrace it?
Yes.
What happens to players that don't embrace it?
They look. You want to know? You want to know what happens when they don't embrace it?
Yeah.
They're benching. They're benched because I'm not going to put up with that shit.
Yes, and then the others excel, and then they come back to you and say, "Gee, you're right."
You understand that the two kids are juniors. They're not even seniors. They're not even going into their senior year. They're going into their junior year.
But did they tell you?
Getting D1 offers, dude.
Did they tell you they got it? We get it now.
Yes. At the end of the year, they say, Coach, I appreciate you fucking being on my ass. And they didn't say, this is just me speaking coach and stuff. They said, I appreciate you pushing us to new heights. I appreciate you providing new ways to coach us in terms of the film, because the coaches before had no idea about the fucking film until I fucking presented it to the coaching staff.
And they were impressed.
Yeah, and why do you think you think I'm fired up now? You think during these videos you should see what I'm like on the practice field. When we're going against the offense. I mean, you should see the back and forth I go with coaches and position coaches. I mean, we get into it. Like, it's not like we get into it like physically, but like emotionally, cheering our players and shit. It's like fucking balls to the wall, baby. Like, that's how we fucking do things. That's how we fucking do things.
Well, that's how all successful teams do it. Once you start getting into, oh, you're pushing us too hard, Bill Belichick. I am done with it. I'm so done with you fucking assholes. I'd rather watch XFL, USFL, college, high school than you crybabies.
Exactly. And you know what? At the end of the fucking day, I am 26 years old, and I'm like fucking, I'm like Bill Romanowski out there fucking pushing my players. Like Tom Jackson, Randy Gradishar. Like, it is old school.
Dawkins.
Yeah. It is old school, balls to the walls. I actually break. This is the reality of the situation. You know what fucking the NFL players hate the most? Is when you hold them accountable and you take them back to the beginning. The beginnings, it's like a kid, it's like a baby. The beginning stages, and you watch them blossom. And that's what I did with these players, specifically the linebackers that I coach. We went down to the nitty fucking gritty here, and I'm telling you what, there is nobody anybody can say on this platform anywhere else that says, and I quote, that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when it came to this fucking linebacking shit. Because you know damn and well that I know what I'm looking for at linebackers, just like you know what you're looking back at corners. Okay?
Yeah.
So don't give me that fucking shit.
Yes. So, and I have spoken with former NFL coaches, college football coaches, high school coaches, and all of them agree that the defensive end, and you could even argue how the offense also is getting neutered. The defense is no longer anything what it used to resemble before. That the positions have been neutered. So it's part of the walking away process that people are having.
Let me ask you a question. Oh, quarterback is all you fucking need. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's just, dude. Like, okay. Do you guys really understand? Like, let me ask you a question. Do you really, really understand what makes Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes okay? I'm not going to say great because they're not.
I would say it's a magic wand that they possess.
Well, I wouldn't say. Yeah. That's what the dumb fan would say. You guys need to take a look at the player personnel and what organizational structure they are in right now. Because I'm going to tell you what. Patrick Mahomes, he had such a great Super Bowl. He had such a great playoff run. I'm sorry. What I saw from the Chiefs was simplistic bucket man, chopped liver, and bubble man football. Running the football, quick throws, managing the game, great offensive and defensive line play. It is a fucking shame that Chris Jones didn't get the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
It's a fucking shame.
Yeah, he deserved it. If you're going to give Patrick Mahomes an MVP for managing a game, then you should have done that for Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 50 for managing the game as well. And you know damn well if that kicker for San Francisco would have kicked that field goal and the San Francisco 49ers would have won that Super Bowl, we would have been hearing about Brock Purdy, about the MVP that he won, and again, for doing exactly the same thing that Patrick Mahomes did, exactly the same thing. And I'm not taking anything away from Brock Purdy. I'm not taking anything. They were like two birds of a feather. The only difference was that San Francisco either got a phone call or just became stupid and decided to stop doing what they were doing defensively and get into a prevent defense mode where they brought everybody back and allowed Patrick Mahomes to get 66 yards rushing. 60, and Peyton Manning could have got 50 of those 60 yards rushing if the Carolina Panthers would have only dropped back into prevent. It just.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You're on a roll.
So it's Tuesday after the Super Bowl. I turn on the radio locally in Denver in the morning. Patrick Mahomes, turn it on around noon, 1 o'clock. Patrick Mahomes, turn it on at like 5 o'clock. Patrick, what the fuck did Patrick Mahomes do? That other than manage the game? Nobody wanted to talk about what Chris Jones did. I want you to talk about Chris Jones a little bit.
It's not just what Chris Jones did; it's what that defense did.
I think Chris Jones was instrumental.
Who was the one person throughout the entire year on Denver Broncos Mile High Views that said, "Watch out for this Chiefs young up and coming defense"? Because I actually know what I'm looking at, and I actually understand what is being presented on the all 22 film. Dude, I tell you what, dude. Chris Jones is the second best. He is behind Aaron Donald for me as the second best interior defensive lineman in the league.
One's 4-3, the other's 3-4.
Yeah. So there's a difference. It's systematic.
It's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're running a 4-3, you get Chris Jones. If you're running a 3-4, you get Aaron Donald. That's just common sense.
Oh, the other way around, I think. The other. No, you're right. You're right. My bad.
Okay. I'm listening because I don't want to watch Super Bowl because I knew it was going to be about Taylor Swift, demonic bullshit. Like I didn't want to fucking deal with it. But the stuff that I did see was that defense fucking flying around. And then you have Kyle Shanahan firing that so-called defense coordinator and Steve Wilkes.
Well, who got the phone call to go prevent? Out of nowhere.
I know. Out of fucking nowhere, dude. Out of fucking nowhere. And I said Chiefs are winning the Super. I mean, it wasn't even fucking right when they were doing prevent. I'm like, Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl.
That's what I said. They're going to prevent themselves out of their Super Bowl win.
Out of the Super Bowl. That's what you fucking said, and that's what happened. Okay.
Has anybody even talked about that?
No.
And Patrick Mahomes. And then they're on Brock Purdy.
Okay,
well, he's just a peasant.
Watch the all 22 of the Super Bowl, which I did. Patrick Mahomes is missing wide open guys left and right. There was a touchdown before you could have ended the game. Patrick Mahomes could have ended the game, but instead he misses a wide open Rashid Rice in the middle of the field. You think a Montana would have missed that? You think a fucking Peyton Manning would have missed that? You think a fucking Tom Brady would have missed that shit?
Now, and Tony kissed the butt of Mahomes. Romo was even bringing up all the misreads that Mahomes was having. And I just want to ask you, they're all dogging out Brock Purdy.
Are you kidding?
What's the difference between what difference did the two do? They look like the same guy out there. I saw two game managers out there.
Oh my God, dude.
And I'm not saying that
broken. This league is fucking broken.
I'm not saying that what those quarterbacks did was wrong. I'm just saying they were what they were. They weren't. I didn't see like John Elway's greatest comeback or Jim Kelly, Reich's famous comeback against the Oilers. I didn't see anything like that. Or what's his face? Brady's comeback against the Falcons. I didn't see anything like that. I saw two exact guys, exactly the same game managing. And I'm not saying that's anything wrong with that. They did what they were supposed. They did their job as best I guess they were supposed to.
This is where I'm going to push back. Let me ask you a question, Chopped Liver. Would you be paying a game manager like Patrick Mahomes $500 million?
No, because it has nothing to do with them playing. It all has to do with hype. It all has to do.
Okay, all have to do with hype and shit.
It all has to do with hype.
I would never pay Patrick Mahomes $500 million when I can continue to be. You know what's so great, and this is the difference. This is the difference between the Chiefs and the Broncos. Even with that contract looming over their head, they're still hitting on their draft picks on the offensive line. They're still hitting their draft picks on the defensive line linebackers. I mean, that defense, okay, you can time out all you want, but the Chiefs defense.
Time out. Let's do a little history lesson because All these people want to go up and get Drake. All these people want to go up and get Caleb Williams. Let's talk a little history here. Did the success of the Kansas City Chiefs start with and end with Patrick Mahomes?
No.
That's what needs to be explained here to people that don't get it.
Okay, let me explain it then. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so what did Andy Reid do before Mahomes got there?
Started building the team from the ground up.
Drafting Eric Fisher as the number one overall pick, building that offensive line, getting Alex Smith, continue to building that team, and then go get Patrick Mahomes. And then what did we see in the Super Bowl against Brady and the Bucks? An absolute ass whooping, and that offensive line looked like shit. And that
made Mahomes look like what?
He didn't look like
he looked like dog shit. He didn't just look like shit. He looked like dog shit.
Like Russell Wilson out there on the current iteration of the Walmart.
He looked worse than Russell Wilson.
Okay,
I'm going to tell you.
That was an example. Okay, so then.
But why? But why did he look like that? Why?
Because the offense and the team looked like shit.
Yeah. So what's the takeaway? The takeaway is you don't have one player. This is a team sport, and that one player is extremely dependent on everybody around him. Whether it's a number 10, whether it's a quarterback, it doesn't matter. This is a team sport. Get it through your head. You don't have the team. I don't give a fuck what quarterback you have back there.
I'm going to tell you what, detractors and the people that are going to comment on this video, if you don't have a good offensive line, your quarterback is going to look like shit.
Yeah.
If you don't have an offensive line, your quarterback is going to look like shit. If you don't have a good receiving core that can get to the second level consistently and that can separate, your quarterback is going to look like shit. If you don't have a good defensive line, your corners and your linebackers are going to look like shit. It's
correct.
Common fucking sense.
Oh, yeah, but see, it's marketed now. It's not a team sport. It's just one player, and that's all you need to know about. Just be a fan of the quarterback position.
I have Sirius XM, and I'm a fan of Sirius XM radio. I like it better than I can't listen to 104.3 Locked On Broncos Mile High Huddle because they're fucking. They're stupid.
Well, they're paid for by the front office of the Broncos.
But I have Sirius XM saying, and I quote, the reason why this Super Bowl is successful is because of Taylor Swift. That's all you need to know right there. That's all they fucking care about.
Yeah. That's why people are walking away from the NFL.
And that's why I'm going to be in lockstep with those very people.
Yeah, I would rather see XFL. I'd rather see UFL. I'd rather watch rugby in Europe. I'd rather watch high school and college football. Nebraska, go Navy.
Oh, Big Red. And I sent you the fucking video of fucking Matt Rule talking about how he's rebuilding the culture for Nebraska. Completely different. Completely fucking different.
Go Navy.
Yeah, go.
Go Navy.
Go Army.
So, anyway, let's go talk about mishmashing really quick. Just Commanders now.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed that the paid-for content creators for the Commanders refuse to really talk about Anthony Lynn and the like that it should be talked about, that he is a West Coast zone running backs coach. What needs to be discussed is his offensive line coach, who everybody is Bellyache Johnson. And my take on Johnson is that's fine if you look at Johnson in Buffalo when he had the player personnel to run that power gap system. We have a problem. We have a mishmash when we're trying to get a West Coast zone running quarterback, offense. I just got distracted. When you have the West Coast zone running back mixed up with a power gap offensive line coach, the two don't. It's oil and water.
Well, look at the offensive coordinator. You think Lynn and Kingsbury fucking don't like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, it would make more sense if your offensive line coach. Well, I'm just saying, it would make more sense if your offensive line coach was a West Coast zone run offensive line.
Okay, but how would those two correlate to Kingsbury's system when he ran in Arizona a power run system.
Well, exactly. You're not going to run the power run system. You're going to have to reinvent.
What are you going to fucking run?
Well, to me, yeah. So I'm just saying. So this is the quagmire that Magic Johnson got himself into. If you get Kingsbury, you got to start a West Coast and have Kingsbury adapt to a West Coast, adapt his spread system to a West Coast stretch system, zone run stretch system. But you got a guy that does that is like Arizona. He's got the power gap on the offensive line. Best case scenario, you get the Buffalo Bill. You get the Buffalo Bill version of his offensive line. In New York, New York did realize that they needed to be working on their offensive line, but they don't have the depth. Last year, they had a whole bunch of injuries on their starters. So, yeah, his lines didn't look good, but there were asterisks with that. But why are you bringing in a guy that's it's a completely different offensive scheme for your running backs? It just makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, again, who's the passing game coordinator as well? The guy that was in the offense coordinator for
is it Philadelphia?
Yeah, oh my God, it just makes no fucking sense, man.
It's a cluster. It's a clusterfuck, right?
Plus, yeah, I even said it. I'm like, this is all a clusterfuck.
Let's go back to Arizona really quick. Let's go back to Arizona with Kingsbury. Did his offensive people, were they all in lockstep with what he was doing?
I'd have to go back and look on that because I went back and watched the player personnel that was accumulated there. I didn't go look at the coaching staff that was under.
And their history.
You had Vance Joseph, that was the defense coordinator while he was there.
No, I'm just strictly talking offense.
That's something I'd have to go back and look at.
Okay, yeah, I'm just talking strictly offense. So, what?
It's like, oh, and then I have that fucking Hoffman guy. Oh my God, Dan Quinn is accumulating an all-star staff. Didn't we hear that under fucking with Mike McCoy and Vance Joseph and Joe Woods in Denver?
You're going to see offensive plays you've never seen before.
And then before we did this video together, there was a rumor going around. Now, this is just a rumor, and to me, this is just going to be fucking more realistic now more than ever. Oh, Cliff Kingsbury is going to have total control of the offense. Who said that was going to happen?
It has to happen. Yes. Kingsbury's going to be Shermer, and Dan Quinn's going to be Vic Fangio.
Wow. But okay, so
Magic Johnson's going to be Elway, and Adam Peters is going to be George Payton.
Okay, yeah. So now we talk about that. Who you bring in a 3-4 linebacker coach and Pagano? What the fuck are you doing?
Well, he's just an assistant to the assistant to the assistant.
Okay, that's another thing I want to mention. Thank you for bringing
cooks in the kitchen.
I am sick and tired of these assistant to the assistant to the assistant to the assistant.
Cooks in the kitchen. Cooks in the kitchen. We want guys that can run it.
You think I'm a high school linebacker coach? Do you think I have an assistant to me?
Well, let me ask you: do you want an assistant?
Control the linebacker room. Total control.
Yes. Do you want an assistant?
No, I don't, because I don't want that said. I don't want that. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't want that said individual, my assistant, to fucking teach these kids bad technique or bad habits.
Well, he's just an administrator. He's not.
I don't give a fuck about the. This is football. I don't need administration bullshit.
That's another exactly. So that's another problem with the NFL. They're starting to administrate themselves out of existence. It's becoming a bureaucracy, is what we're saying.
It's shit.
Yeah. We just got to give more people a job. just want to pull your hair out.
I go and look at the fucking Broncos front. It's all marketing, all bullshit, all fucking Patrick Smythe shit. It's fucking annoying, man. I am so sick of that shit. I am so sick. I'm sick of these content creators like the Hoffmans, like the Zach Stevens, like the Mark Slareth, the fucking Martian Cecil Lammy. I'm sick of I'm so Andrew Mason. I am so sick of these fucking people trying to tell me that they put in the hard work. When you get the fucking parking passes, when you get the fucking entries, when you get the steak and mac,
you get paid.
And I don't get paid for shit.
Yeah, we did a lot of hard work without even getting a dime because we can't show film if we're getting paid. It's the way YouTube's structured. And the way the copyright laws are structured. We have to do it. Hold on a second. We've got to do it. We have to show film as education and instructional purposes only.
Because we're going to get fucking ads put on and we're not going to see a single dime for that shit.
And they did. And then we pointed out, we're not getting a dime for that.
They quit doing that.
Yeah. Because we were saying, we ain't seen a red cent from this. This is all being generated.
Dove Valley and them fucking hated when we put out the film. They fucking hated it. They would suppress our videos.
Yeah, but you know what? Start getting your product right. Fire all the content creators. I'm telling you, from a marketing standpoint, if you have a team, an organization that you build from the ground up, roll up the sleeves, and it's the real thing, you won't need all the content creators because the product will speak for itself, and it'll be real, and people will come.
Authentic.
You cannot just to those above the marketing. For you who write the check to all the marketing people, I'm just telling you, you get the product right. You won't have to worry about any of these PR. People do not want to hear a bunch of PR BSers out there telling you you're not seeing what you're seeing, a bad product. I'm telling you.
The Denver Broncos are not, okay, this current iteration of the Denver Broncos, they're not authentic. Under Bolin, they were authentic. There's a difference between the two. Pat Bolin didn't need marketing.
Well, I think that era they were more authentic as in across the board in the NFL.
Yeah. This era and this current iteration of the Denver Broncos they're not, and this current iteration of the NFL is not authentic whatsoever.
And what I'm afraid of with these Commander fans is that you're heading into an area where we came from. This fake, you got meddlers and then content creators. You're not seeing what you're seeing. Oh no, this is a thing of beauty. No, it's not.
And I understand where fans are saying, well, Coach Buckman's like he's on fucking 8 Red Bulls and fucking he's all fired up and shit. You have to understand something. Myself, and I was part of that fucking fan base where I was like, oh, give LA a chance. This guy right here opened my eyes to a much bigger perspective on what was going on. Number one. Number two, I took a step back. I took myself out of that fan shit, and I looked at, what's going on with this team, and it wasn't adding up. It was not adding up. So, this current iteration of myself, there's a reason I'm this way because I'm so sick and tired of people not waking up to the fact. And there are people waking up to the fact. I'm not going to discount those.
Well, that's people. What they're all butthurt about.
And I'm so sick and tired of those said people that are butthurt at the fans that are fucking done with this shit, saying, oh, we put in the hard work, we did all this, when none of you fucking did the work that myself and this man did. And I'm not going to discredit Bubbleman because he showed up late, but, Bubbleman does great work. But I'm saying the people that were in the fucking trenches were these two people right here that when we see the Commander's moves, current iteration of it, we're shaking our head and we fucking shame on us and we're in disbelief. Like, you really want to copy what the fucking Denver Broncos did under Fangio, under Peyton, under Elway with Shermer and all that shit? Let me ask you a question. You brought it up before I had to let you go earlier today. When was the last good Broncos offensive line? At least okay offensive line.
Well, it was the one that Josh McDaniels had.
No, I'm talking about this era. I'm not talking about that era. I'm talking about this era. You were talking about Mike.
Oh yeah, that's when Mike Munchak was there.
Isn't it funny that he's not in the NFL anymore?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I was a Commanders and I was going zone run heavy, Mike Munchak would have been my O-line coach in a fucking heartbeat. There are hands or butts. He's the one that drafted in minors.
Yeah, they should have just stuck with it. Now they got a running back coach that fits the system. They should have just
Dalton Reisner hasn't been the same since fucking Mike Munchak left.
No. Well, last time I checked, I don't think Shermer was from a West Coast. Was he? Wasn't he a power
guy?
What? Say it again.
He was a spread guy.
Yeah, but what about the offensive line for that? So wasn't it power for him? Wasn't it? Did he cut his teeth? Yeah, and then they tried to do the mishmash, and they couldn't understand why Reisner his performance went down.
We've seen this rodeo before.
I know. I've seen it with other teams too, not just the Broncos.
Oh,
but teams that are monolithic, that keep their coaching. They're the ones that San Francisco and the Chiefs, for instance. The Ravens, for instance.
Baltimore, I mean, that's just an example. They don't go out and hire coaches from other teams that don't fit them. They hire within.
And from what I understand, Buffalo is the same way. You know, they're having success.
New England the Patriots that were that way for so long.
The Patriots were definitely that way for so long. Kansas. Well, we said Kansas City. We said the Patriots. There was with Detroit, they're starting to figure it out. Well, yeah, Pittsburgh. Yes, definitely Pittsburgh, and they're a contender all the time. Now, Detroit. What's interesting is all this quarterback obsession. They got rid of Stafford. They got rid of Stafford, not because Stafford was bad, because they knew they had to build the team.
Put up, man.
From the inside out. They went from the inside out, like all these other teams.
Look at that offensive line for the fucking Lions. I mean, it is the best. And I told you guys it was going to be the best because they were putting the resources behind that to make it successful. That's
why I think the Giants gave up too fast on that O-line coach. You have to draft, you have to get guys that fit that system that you can develop and you can get depth on, because offensive linemen get injured. So you need that other guy to come in and be right in lockstep with the other guy. So it doesn't take that long to gel with the guys once he comes in.
Funny that a former, he bounced back and forth. Isn't it funny that Graham Glasgow had a better year in Detroit than his time in Denver at all?
How many players have we seen do that have left the Broncos? It's just common now. Denver, you do not have the organization you think you have. I said to Commander fans that Sean Payton is a very rich dead man walking. I do not see anything coming from Sean Payton, especially when you got players crying. He's pushing us too hard. He's a dictator. Fuck you. Fuck you. You fucking...
You pussy.
Sex.
You pussy.
You fucking pussy. Just fucking shut up. Next, get him out of next up.
Yeah, Justin Simmons, you're a fucking pussy.
Who wants to get pushed? Who wants to push themselves? Not the guy playing goalie for Manchester United.
Our biggest detractors have even fucking said that they can't even watch this product anymore, man. And they can't even watch. Well, if you're a fan of the team, you need to stick through it, thick and thin. Here's something for you, you fucking fanboy, you fucking, fan status guys. when I don't see any progress whatsoever, and I'm talking about organizational, I'm not talking about all this bullshit that you guys want to go get quarterbacks. So when I see the same wash, rinse, repeat thing over and over and over again, what did we say a couple of years ago? That we're going down Tampa Bay, early Detroit, early Cleveland days. I mean, that's what New York Jets, we're already there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, teams have been suffering longer than 9-10 years. We're going to be heading that way, and we're probably going to be even longer than that.
Hey, I've got a message for that along the lines you're talking about. I got a message for the Chicago Bears. Fleece the Denver Broncos.
Please.
I'm telling you. Washington, you got Magic Johnson. He's going to have you go up to the number 1 spot. And in Chicago, go right to Denver. Just go right to them. You'll get a hell of a lot more than anybody will give because they're that stupid to draft a quarterback that they'll ruin. Guaranteed they'll ruin him.
Yep.
Guaranteed they'll ruin him. Take them for everything you got, fan status. Take them for everything you got. Use those draft picks to start building that team the way you're supposed to. Go ahead, Justin Fields, whether right, wrong, or indifferent, build that fucking team up. Use that to get draft capital. Fleece the Denver Broncos. Fleece them. Please fleece them. Mark Schlereth, I hope they fleece the Denver Broncos. It serves them right. If you're not going to learn your lesson, then just take them to the cleaners. Take them to the cleaners. That's all I got to say.
No, you're 100% right. If I was the GM/owner for the Bears, I'd fleece the absolute shit out of the Denver Broncos. No question.
Demand a lot because they'll give it.
Yeah.
They'll give it.
Demand the king's ransom. They'll give it to you.
They'll give it to you. Yeah. Just so they can ruin another guy. Just so they can ruin him.
Hey, Chops Liver, if that happens, I mean, you and I will just come on here and be like, "We told you so." I mean, it won't even be fucking hysterical. It will be sad at this point watching this shit.
I mean, I'm going to feel bad. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to feel bad for Caleb Williams. And I'm going to say something about Caleb Williams. I don't honestly know a lot, but what I've heard is he's got a $100 million arm, $50 million legs, but he's got a 10-cent head on his shoulders. That's the rumor I hear, but I feel sorry for him because I don't think that they're doing things right it's too early to tell. It ain't too early. We're seeing things go on in real time. That ain't too real or too early.
You want to know the difference between college football and the NFL? Which team won the national championship? Caleb Williams or the offensive defensive line for Michigan?
I would say the offensive defensive line for Michigan.
Okay, who was the coach for 8-9 years for Michigan? Who just went to the Chargers?
Well, that's another thing. What did he do in 8-9 years? Harbaugh. What did he do in those 8 or 9 years?
He rebuilt that. He rebuilt that college team up in Michigan.
What is Nebraska going to try to do? What is Nebraska?
Matt Rule has stated time and time again he wants to be like Michigan.
Yeah.
And did you get to watch that Chops Liver? I'm telling you, please watch it. Just please, because he says that even in his time in the NFL, he didn't want to build it for that year. He wanted to build it for long, sustainable success.
And they wouldn't let him do it. And they would not let him do it.
Tepper, David fucking Tepper, the fucking idiot who wants to be like Elway 2.0 as a GM.
We don't have any patience.
But what is Nebraska's completely fucking different? He's like, I want to win year one, but I want to have sustained success over a long period of time. Yeah, we're gonna have to take that big. We're gonna have to take that big hit year one, but year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7. That's when you're gonna see the progression going upwards. That's what he said in the fucking dude. I am telling you.
Let me ask you this: does the coach Harbaugh, does coach of Nebraska, do they believe in their? Do they, as a coach, their core philosophy? Do they believe that the sport of football, the American version of football, is a quarterback sport? Or do they
No.
Do they believe it is a entire team sport?
Okay, this is where I will say this. Nebraska got a 4 or 5-star quarterback, Dylan Raiola. His dad played for the University of Nebraska. He played for Detroit for a long period of time. He was a center. So he's a legacy player, okay, at Nebraska. Dylan Raiola was originally committed to Georgia, and he's a quarterback. This is just an example. He was originally committed to Nebraska. Matt Rule didn't fucking continue to push him. He's like, okay, go get the development you need over at Georgia, okay? The last second, he flips to Nebraska. You want to know why?
Why?
Because of Matt Rule and Matt Rule and that fucking coaching staff and the organization. I'm not saying Georgia's a shitty fucking program. They're an elite top 5, top 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
But Raiola went to Nebraska because he wants to make Nebraska what they used to be back in the 90s. He wants to get Nebraska. He wants to help Nebraska get back. And I'm not saying Dylan Raiola is going to be this great quarterback, this, that, and the third. But
if he gets that offensive line,
and they're doing it. They got the guy from Florida who I like, but this isn't a Nebraska channel. But my point is, Matt Rule didn't go out in the transfer portal and get, pay all this money to one position. They went out and got a running back, receivers, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. They went out and spread their wings in the transfer portal. But I've heard this time and time about Matt Rule. He believes in player development. He believes in retain and player development, and he also believes in the offense and defensive lines. But every time I hear Matt Rule, it's always player development, and he loves recruiting.
That's our philosophy. That's our philosophy. Is proper scouting. There's people that they're great players, but they're not going to fit our system. I know. As in what I've seen a history of, I can get a Mean Joe Green at round 6, I think it was, or 5 or 6, and I can turn him into a Hall of Fame quarterback or a Hall of Fame player, not quarterback, Hall of Fame player, because we developed him to be that. He didn't start out that way. Matter of fact, when the Steelers got Joe Green, everybody was like, "What the hell are you doing with this Joe Green guy?" Well, they knew they could develop him because it was a draft and developed league back then.
And he fit the Steelers system.
Yeah, obviously.
Matt Rule is going out and getting players, not just in the transfer portal, but the recruiting side to fit what his philosophy is offensively and defensively. That's what he's doing. That Nebraska defense last year was fucking insane, man. I mean, Terrence, I told you, did I not fucking tell you? I believe the MVP of that coaching staff was Terrence Knighton on the defensive line. I mean, the development that's been taking place on that D-line has been fucking insane.
And what you're trying to do is you're trying as a coaching staff to get the offensive line to catch up with the defensive line.
Matt Rule doesn't meddle. He lets the coaches be themselves, and he lets the coaches develop. He's not in there like a meddler like Elway saying, "Oh, we need to go out and get this transfer portal quarterback."
Or Deion Sanders.
Sanders. Yeah. That Deion Sanders is going to be gone once his son and his other guy leaves. He's going to be out of there quicker than fucking you blink. But I'm just saying. Oh well, Colorado beat Nebraska last year. Nebraska. Here's the difference. All that Deion Colorado hype bullshit, they're just a one-year trick pony. Okay, that's all they are. Matt Rule, Nebraska, they're going to build this thing like Michigan, like Alabama did under Saban. I'm not saying they're going to be like those teams, but at least he knows what the fuck he wants to do. Not like Deion. Oh, I just want to get all my players from the transfer portal and get this.
I'll bet you. I will bet you our houses. Your house, my house. I'll bet you the house that Deion Sanders leaves as soon. I'll get that wheel. I will get that wheel. I will bet you that Deion Sanders will be out of there as soon as his son goes to the pros.
I 100% agree.
He will be out of there. Matt Rule, on the other hand,
he'll be there longer. Dude, I'm telling you, Matt Rule got like a 7-8 year contract. Okay, this isn't. If he wasn't going to be here, he would have got here like a 3-4 year. This guy got a massive contract because Matt Rule is a organizational builder. That's what he is. That's what he's been known for. He rebuilt Baylor. He rebuilt Temple. And what did I say? I said Matt Rule going to the NFL. What did we say when that happened? Because the owner, he kept meddling.
They're gonna chop his balls off, and
they're gonna chop his balls off. But Matt Rule has even fucking take little shots at fucking Tepper by saying, "Oh yeah, I wanted this player, but I was overridden by the fucking."
Oh, I wonder that does that really happen? Oh my God!
And I know.
Tap tap tap, tap tap tap. Now, do you think Magic Johnson is going to be in the draft? Tap tap tap, tap tap tap. Oh, I think so too. And I will say this for Commander.
Isn't it funny?
Wait a second. I want to say this for Commander fans. At least when you're comparing the Broncos fans, at least because they've been around that block, they've seen that movie before. A lot of them aren't buying the bullshit that's going on right now either. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're 100% right on that.
They're not sitting here defending it.
Well, I would rather be a college or a high school coach, but I would rather just stick with that because at least I know. I mean, look at the fucking college landscape. I mean, you have Montana. I'm telling you what, Chancellor, you need to get back into college football because I'm watching Division II teams. I'm watching Montana, South Dakota State, North Dakota State, all these other teams that are fucking kicking ass. I'm watching MAC teams that are kicking ass. I'm watching, it's not just the Big 10, Big 12.
Well, I think the NFL's all political now.
Oh, yeah.
The product doesn't mean anything. It's all politics. It's all virtue signaling. It's all hype. It's all this. It's all quarterbacks. If that's the fan base you're looking for, they will never be able to relate to what we're talking about because it is like we're from another planet completely. I mean, I'd like to see the NFL, I would like to see the NFL become more like college in the sense that but they want all that money. They want all that, they want the corporate trough. And that's the whole thing that's ruining it all. And the NFL, yes, has always been like that, but it wasn't like it is today. It wasn't there. That availability wasn't there, I guess, to meddle in it, the way it's been meddled in. So you got Mahomes making money off of his sponsorship, but the NFL's making a lot more from the same sponsorship, riding his coattails. That's why they got to hand an MVP to him. Fuck you, Chris Jones. Yes, we'll get you a little pat on the back. Then he doesn't even get an honorable mention.
I know.
So
I just got this across my screen. You're gonna love this, Chops.
Okay. This just in.
Yeah. Adam Schefter reporting here. You're gonna love this, and this correlates to this is a Bronco thing. Oh God!
I can't wait.
Yeah, Broncos will be heavily involved in the Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold sweepstakes.
Hey, I'll tell you what. It would make a whole lot more sense. You're gone.
I know.
It would make a whole lot more sense than going up the draft and getting fleeced by, Chicago or whatever. It would be much smarter. I don't know, I'm sure they'll kill whoever they pick, they'll kill. But it would be a hell of a lot smarter than getting fleeced by the Chicago. You'd be fleeced less. You'd be fleeced less. But why would Baker Mayfield why would he leave Tampa Bay? Even for the money, let's say the Broncos I don't know how they would do it, pay him more money. And I'm not sure. I think Tampa's also in a bad situation too, cap-wise. Another team in a bad situation. Because they got to get rid of cap too. So, If I was Tampa, I would try to make that happen where you may have to make some cuts for your cap sake, but you should have a team and a scouting department and everything in place to draft and develop. Keep Baker Mayfield and draft and develop.
I think the Sam Darnold thing is more likely than the Baker Mayfield.
Where is Sam Darnold now?
He's a free agent.
Oh shit, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I would, yeah, because you're not going to have to give up anything. But they'll kill him though.
Sam fucking Darnold, dude.
You do know they will kill him. You do know that, right?
That's why I don't want him coming here.
Well, kill anybody that comes. But I mean, at least I'd say this. We know you're going to kill him. Okay, it's just a foregone. You're going to kill him. It'll all be his fault. We all are just telling you right now. But at least you didn't.
Sam Darnold.
You didn't go up and get fleeced.
Dude, Sam Darnold
No. It would be remarkable that this organization, who can't help itself, would get Sam Darnold and not go up and get fleeced. I'm saying that's what it's come down to.
Yeah, you get Sam Darnold and Caleb Williams, or you get Sam Darnold and Drake May as your fucking 1 and 2. Like, that is fucking stupid. Like, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard.
No, I'm just saying this. If you don't go up and get fleeced and you get Sam Darnold, I could say, okay, you made a step. You've made a step. You've actually handcuffed yourself, locked yourself in a room to not make a stupid move and get yourself fleeced. I would say that would be a small victory. But if you do both, and I'm just saying, forget Sam Darnold at that point. If you're going up and getting fleeced, then I don't want to hear it. You're going to kill both of them anyway.
Dude, Sam Darnold was the backup quarterback for Brock Purdy in San Francisco. Okay, I can't. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me one because Elway went to Darnold's pro day. He loved Darnold coming out of USC. I mean, it wouldn't fucking surprise me.
Okay, so basically the guy that still has an office they don't want to acknowledge.
Who presented the Super Bowl trophy to the Chiefs.
Of course, a little kick in the gut right there if you're a Bronco fan. They're so out of touch. They are so out of touch.
I know. And I just, Yep.
All right. Well, I got to get going here.
Yeah, so do I.
Rock on. Yeah, this is
it's sad.
Yeah. So we're going to continue with Beyond the Analytics and just
thank you.
And just do a commentary on occasion of what's going on. That's it. I don't have anything else really.
There's nothing more left to say. I mean, it's every fucking year. It's every year. Every fucking year.
Yep. Well, every year gets worse.
I got players bitching.
I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But my contract says I can't do it.
My DARPA dog doesn't bitch as much as you guys do.
Yeah, I'm done listening to that. I don't give a shit about their contract. I don't give a shit about their sponsors. I don't give a shit about anything. It's gotten out of control.
Oh, Pro Football Focus said I had a 99.1 grade. Yeah, fuck you, Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, but guess what? Your film shows this.
Yep. Forget the film. Fuck the film.
No. You cannot look at that film. You can only look at Pro Football Focus. That's it. My agent said so.
Highlight reels. That's it.
Yeah. You can see the highlight reel. Do not watch the all 22 series after series after series and come to me with that. I got Football Focus. Okay.
Yeah. Did you watch that? Did you watch that Nick Burrito highlight reel that they showed when we drafted him? I mean, he was getting off the edge like Von Miller. Yeah. Oh my God, those people that stick with that shit are fucking stupid.
Oh God.
Fuck you.
I don't know. I've got film of him all season getting ghosted when he's being blocked, except for maybe a play or two out of the whole season.
Like Jerry Jeudy.
All I can tell you is this: I watched quarterbacks read War and Peace, except for the Chargers, whose offensive line has took a major step backwards. I mean, if the Broncos are getting to you, you know your offensive line is dog shit. That's all I got to say. I got to get going.
All right. Cuckoo.
Adios, amigo.
Yep. Cuckoo.
Yeah, we are all here. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.